How did you guys get over here? How did? Okay, all right, that's weird. Hey everybody, my name is Mr. J3T, aka Mr. Big Sexy. Wow, Mr. Big Sexy. Okay, let's run that back. Hi, my name is Mr. J3T, aka Big Sexy, aka the Kentucky Cannon, aka the World Class Badass, aka Chocolate Thunder with a caramel swirl, aka Black Lightning with a peanut butter filling, aka the Man of the Century, aka DJ Big Head. Yeah, DJ Big Head, because I am a DJ by association. You guys remember? Let's see, what's else? Mr. New Angle, because yeah, as you can see, there's a new angle. You guys are placed at a different spot now. That is crazy. So Mama 3T got me a new setup. Mama and Papa 3T gave me a new little setup here with a light and everything. And I even have this. See this? I can use this to control the video now. So if I press this, I can stop the video right now, but I'm not going to. And I got a light too, so I can make this even brighter. See? So bright. You guys can see everything. Let me turn this down. It gets bright, y'all. So yeah, you're gonna see this weird little reflection on my glasses now. So that's fun. Oh yeah, and if you guys were wondering what was behind you, this is what was behind you the whole time. My mirror. Now you guys can see a little more of my room. It's a beautiful room, isn't it? But anyway, I talk about anime, video games, comic books, all that good stuff. And speaking of comic books, we're going to be talking about a webtoon called Sweet Home. Now, for those of you that don't know what a webtoon is, it's basically like a comic that you read online. So, it's Sweet Home is a webtoon that's online. That's on an app that's called WEBTOON. I hope that I'm describing this right. So it's an online comic, and it's about a shut-in, basically. A guy who moves into an apartment building, and he's just, by himself. And one day, he starts to find out that people are turning into monsters. Not your zombies, like actual nightmare fueled monsters, right? So now he has to try and survive this monster apocalypse while also trying to keep the people that he knows safe. Because in the comic, he meets these two children and he's trying to keep them safe. So he's trying to survive while also trying to keep them safe too. And the kicker is... Should I tell you guys this? Fuck it. He's infected too. So not only does he have to try and survive this whole monster apocalypse that just broke out in his building and in the world, not only does he have to try and keep these kids that he found safe, but he's also infected and he also has to try and fight off the infection so he doesn't turn into a monster. So yeah, this guy has a lot on his plate right now. So, the art. I want to start off by talking with the art because the art is great. The art is one of the best things about this comic, especially with these monster designs are very creepy. There's this one weird little slime monster with just the eyeballs, not even a mouth or a facial structure or anything, just eyeballs, and that's weird and a little creepy. There's this huge hulking monster that just with this huge grin on its face. He's scary. The monster designs in this comic are just very, very creepy and very unsettling too. Like, this comic does a really good job at building tension, and it's really good at that because these monsters are no joke. And what I find interesting about these monsters is that the virus actually latches on to your desires. Like, whatever you desire, the virus will turn you into a monster that will let you live out that desire. For example, there is the first monster that we see is a girl who's like a model actress and who's basically starving herself to make herself look skinny and beautiful. And she gets infected, and her desire is obviously she wants to eat something. So the virus turns her into a monster, and she ends up eating her cat. But hey, like, she may be a monster now, but hey, she's eating. Another example, you remember that big hulking monster that I was talking about? His desire was that he wanted to be strong. We don't actually get to see how he turned, but it's implied that the person's desire was that he wanted to be strong. And he got the virus, he turned into this big hulking monster, but hey, he's strong. Which is another thing that I want to point out about this monsterization virus. It does technically give you what you desire. It technically does. Even though you pay the price now that you're a monster, it technically does give you what you desire. So, yeah, that's a thing. The main character, I like him. I like his little arc that he goes through. Because at first he starts off as like kind of like this loner, sort of pseudo selfish kind of guy, but as the comic goes on, he becomes more selfless. He becomes more self sacrificing. Is that the word for it? He becomes more self sacrificing. He starts to put others first. He starts to get out of his shell a little bit more, and I like that. Also, it was cool to see him struggle with that virus because we get some panels in the comic where he actually talks to the virus, and the virus is trying everything to try and get him to turn, and he's just not budging. So this kid's will is very strong, so you're just constantly telling him, come on, you're just hoping that he gets through this, that he won't turn. And it's cool to see him constantly outsmarting the virus so he himself will not turn. It's cool to see that. We get to see some other characters too. There's this gangster. He looks like a gangster, but he doesn't. But he says he's not. I'm just gonna call him gangster because here's the thing about these webcomics, these little webtoons. These authors give their characters very weird sounding names, very weird, very hard to pronounce names. I guess I shouldn't say weird because I believe this takes place in like Korea, somewhere in that side of the pond. So I guess I shouldn't say weird, just hard to pronounce names. So I'm not even going to try to pronounce any of their names because I know that I'll butcher them. Even when I was reading the webtoon, I still couldn't pronounce any of their names. So sorry for that. But nonetheless, the characters I like, they're cool. We get to spend most of our time with our main character and these two kids. And we get to see them bond a little bit more. We get to see other infected people that are also fighting this virus too, and we get to see how they deal with it. Because here are the symptoms: you get a bloody nose, you pass out, and you start to act all savage and all that. Those are some of the symptoms, and we get to see how they deal with their infection. And we actually get to see one of them actually talk to our main character about how he does it, how he fights back, how he fights off this virus. And it's cool to see how other people are dealing with this virus. There's this one really sad moment with an infected person who is also who just tries to fight off this virus for so long, and her what happens to her is just very sad, but also kind of it's sad, but I don't really know how to describe it. Uh, it's bittersweet. Her ending is it's very bittersweet. I'm not gonna tell you guys what happens to her, but it's very bittersweet, her ending, and it kind of made me sad because I liked her. I liked, I really did, and it sucks. But hey, again, I'm not gonna tell y'all what happens, but if you guys do read this comic, just know you're in for a little bit of sadness and a lot of tension because this comic builds up tension really, really well. Uh, it builds up tension with a lot of these monsters because remember, this is an apartment building. These people, the regular people, are stuck inside this building with these monsters, and if they do go outside, they don't know what the hell is out there. They don't know what other monsters are out there, so they're pretty much their only option at this point is to stay inside. So they're trapped with these monsters, and they gotta find ways to defeat them or maneuver around them. And it's very stress inducing. You feel a lot of stress, a lot of tension, and it's great. I like it. It's cool. Again, these monster designs are creepy, very uh, evil looking. It's fun to see. I didn't really talk much about the characters. I guess I should go back on the characters. I don't really have a particular favorite character. I guess I do like the kids. I think they're cute, and the main character I like a lot because I was sort of apathetic towards him, but his growth throughout this comic was great. Like, dare I say, like Zuko, Avatar: The Last Airbender levels of character development that this main character goes through. Like, it's, dare I say, it's on that level. It's just great. Uh, and the monster designs are cool. The characters are solid. The artwork's great. And yeah, like, it's just a very, very solid comic, a very solid webtoon that actually got a Netflix adaptation. So if I piqued your interest in this story, but you don't like to read, I guess you can watch the Netflix adaptation. I'll probably be back to talk about the Netflix adaptation, but for now, The webtoon comic of Sweet Home gets a double thumbs up with a J3T stamp of approval. I really like it. I haven't finished it yet, but I will. So, if you guys want to read it for yourselves, it's on an app called WEBTOON. You gotta download an app called WEBTOON. So, if I piqued your interest, download the WEBTOON app. It's for iOS and Android. So, yeah, you can download it on iOS and Android. So, if you have an iPhone or a Samsung, you can still download it. So, yes, I highly recommend it. It's a great comic. And again, if you don't like to read, go watch the Netflix adaptation. I heard that the Netflix adaptation sticks fairly close to the comic, but it does diverge in some points. But from what I've heard, it sticks fairly close to the comic, so that's cool. Anyway, that's about it from me. You're going to be seeing a lot of new videos from this angle. It's cool. Thank you, parental units. This is awesome. You guys can actually see all of my awesomeness, all of my sexiness with this light, and that's cool. Again, that's what was behind you the whole time. So yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. But if you really like me, consider subscribing and ring that bell so you always know when I upload. Deuces.